2013 has been described as an historic year for Supercenter and DaCosta Mannings Limited, and a senior official promises a brighter future for the now amalgamated organization. Managing Director Neville Brewster has been reflecting on the changes, which include a joint head office for the two retail companies and the opening of the first mega store at Warren's. He says there are plans for more development.
We are currently planning for Sunset Crest operation as well as our Kendall Hill operation, which will be launched sometime in 2016. We're also looking at a one-store operation for the DaCosta Mannings Retail in Bridgetown, and I'm hoping that that will come on stream as well in 2016.
Mr. Brewster was speaking to the media as the company rewarded over 300 loyal customers with nearly $500,000 in prizes. The customers took part in the Christmas Name Your Game competition, which also benefited charitable organizations, including Ward C12 at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Mr. Brewster presented a $15,000 check to senior sister Marguerite Wilson, who said she was deeply thankful for the donation.
If you don't have the tool, you can't do the job effectively. So with ventures like these, and we get the equipment, which you know our government cannot provide everything, so we want to say how much we appreciate. And this is what we're looking at, is we are going to get, I'm saying publicly, we're looking at medicine, a new medicine trolley, and pain control, and a pain control pump for the patients in the C12 department. So
plans for the establishment of a drug treatment court in Barbados are at an advanced stage. The update from Acting Manager of the National Council on Substance Abuse, Betty Hunt. She was speaking to the media after an orientation session for NCSA volunteers at the Ministry of Home Affairs. Though not giving an exact date for the opening of the court, Ms. Hunt says indications are that it will be ready by next month.
We are hoping to start with about 8 to 10 clients, and we're hoping to launch it shortly after that, the actual operation of the drug treatment court very shortly after that. But all plans are on stream to launch the drug treatment court as indicated in mid-February. Plans are well advanced for that.
Rehabilitation work has begun on the St. Lawrence Gap Boardwalk, which over the years has fallen into a state of disrepair. The structure is being replaced at a cost of about $100,000. The work is expected to take about 6 weeks. Minister of Tourism and International Transport Richard Seeley was among a group examining the progress of the repairs spearheaded by the Barbados Tourism Investment Incorporated.
We are effecting those repairs in a manner that will require less maintenance, and so what is planned is that the timber will be removed and will be replaced by an attractive concrete finish with the exposed aggregate and some limestone trimming, very much in the local vernacular that we associate with many of our tourism edifices. So I think it's quite exciting, and in my view it will enhance what is on offer out here.
Mr. Seeley says upgrades to properties are ongoing throughout the Gap. He says officials haven't forgotten the nearby Dover Beach facilities. There's
some disrepair that has certainly come to that market area as well, and we are continuing to discuss with the BTI how we can best do that. I mean, obviously there are budget considerations. We have to prioritize the work, but there are a number of other things that are planned for the Gap.
Work near the entrance of the St. Lawrence Gap has been welcomed by many in the party strip, including the co-owner of the Reggae Lounge, Herman Maloney.
I'm glad to see this is happening. This is right at the mouth for the Gap, and I believe this could be a good uplift for the Gap. And as we notice right now, the industry looks like it's picking up a lot, you know, out here, like a lot of families. So hopefully they're working for the spring break now to get the spring break kids from overseas to come in, because this is the time the families are moving. And we see like there's a lot of Canadians, we got Russians on the Gap, Germans, so it's beautiful to see what is happening.
Burger King Barbados is exploring adding indigenous products to the fast food chain's menu. Approval will first, however, have to be granted from overseas. Items considered include Mobby and Bajan hot sauce. Plans have been outlined by Everett Eastman, Operations Director of NSR Limited, the co-operators of Sky Mall at Bridge Street and Haggett Hall.
As you know, our chicken comes from Chickmont. We are looking to increase the number of products that we can do through Chickmont as well. But as we are also on board with the Roberts Oil, and we are about to be on board with the Purity Bread. So we are trying to integrate all the local suppliers as well as suppliers to the Burger King product.
Chairman of Williams Industries, Ralph Busy Williams, would also like Burger King to use Bajan brown sugar.
If we could get Bajan brown sugar in Burger King restaurants all over the world, can you imagine the impact that would have on our sugar industry? Tremendous. So that's what we tend to think a little bit bigger than we should, or I do anyhow.
Barbadians most affected by HIV and AIDS are between 20 and 49 years of age, but efforts continue to reduce this number by as many as possible. These statistics were revealed during an HIV and AIDS awareness bus tour, as we hear in this report.
Messages about reducing stigma and discrimination are still key to the HIV/AIDS battle, and workers of the Transport Board are the latest group to be targeted. The effort, which incorporated a bus tour, was organized by the Ministry of Labour, Social Security and Human Resource Development. Project coordinator Rhonda Farley says workers filled out a quiz that taught them the facts about HIV/AIDS.
One thing that comes through throughout we find is that people still will tell you that they would not like to buy food from a person, a food vendor who's HIV positive, right? And that is one of the things you have to have conversations with people about. Because if you think about it, most Bajans would go and buy food. Every day they go and buy lunch. And we're not really concerned about if the person has HIV or not, all right? So that is one thing. And then understanding how HIV is transmitted. Because once you understand the basis, have that education, then you really should recognize that it is not something that is airborne or could be transmitted via the food and so on.
Ms. Farley also says young people need to use condoms consistently, as research has shown that anyone who is having sex is at risk.
Right, some things I hear, that something the lady tell me in that survey that I thought it was only, only having sex that you get the virus or the AIDS in it, right? But she tell me about, Lord, breast milk. 4 things called breast milk. They said with the blood. I can't remember the other 2, but she told me that had me sharp.
The workers were also shown how to use both female and male condoms correctly.
I think the presentation is very good, especially with the female condom. And knowing that the gentleman can also use it for himself, but also the female can use it to protect herself. And it covers a lot more of the vagina than what I thought it did.
Ms. Farley is also very concerned about the lack of loyalty in relationships, which she says is putting partners in danger. Sean Farrell, CBC News.
Now on to the regional scene. The World Bank has approved $40 million in additional funding to strengthen Jamaica's largest safety net program. The Program of Advancement Through Health and Education, or PATH, already reaches about 400,000 vulnerable people. The Washington-based financial institution says the funds will help PATH expand to encompass more than 500,000 poor Jamaicans. Similar to other successful conditional cash transfers in Colombia and Mexico, the World Bank said a recent evaluation found that PATH has increased school attendance and improved vaccination rates among the most vulnerable population.